Thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to all of you excellencies and honorable members of parliament. It's a pleasure to join you here, and let me once again take the opportunity to say thank you to my very good friend, the Honorable Susan Opendi and the Honorable Ashems Songwe, who I would say that between the three of us had a conversation about 5 years ago about a family values conference. And I'm happy that from that conversation between three minds across the continent, Malawi, Uganda, and Ghana, today the whole of Africa, we're holding our fourth conference here in Ghana. I've been asked to speak on data protection and safeguarding cultural heritage in the context of technology, artificial intelligence, and digital governance in Africa. And we've got I double as the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations here in Ghana. I'm just going to try and run through this, but the African family today is a proud institution that is under unprecedented digital assault. And why do I say we are under unprecedented digital assault? The average daily screen time for the African youth is 7 hours. Now, consider that you spend 8 hours sleeping, you're supposed to spend 8 hours working, and you're supposed to have 8 hours for other activities. 7 hours for every African young person is spent on a screen. 62% of African youths, or teens actually, so that's between the age of 13 and 19, are exposed to pornography online even before they turn 15 years. The rise in cyberbullying across sub-Saharan Africa is 3 times the number. We're seeing a rise in young people committing suicides. People, because of the way the African context is, are not tracing the story behind this increasing number of suicides among young people, but cyberbullying is a big one. At the Cybersecurity Authority, which is one of the agencies I oversee, we're dealing with an increasing number of cyberbullying cases. 78% of African children's content come from foreign platforms. So your kids, your grandkids are spending time, and 78% of the content that they listen to is from a foreign platform. 1 in 3 African parents are reporting that their children have gone wayward. They've lost the African value of respect for parents, and that's coming from online platforms. And you just need to take your time and listen to what our kids are watching and your grandchildren are watching online, and you'll be shocked at what they are being told is the new norm for dealing with parents. And there's 40% drop time or drop in family meal time, which is correlated with smartphone use. Now you see families, even when we get the opportunity to sit down to eat, we don't have conversations as Africans. Growing up, meal time was family time. It was a time for us to talk. Our parents got to know what was going on with us. We got advice from our parents. Today, the parent is eating, but he's responding to emails. The child is eating, is watching an online video, 40% in the quality of time that we've spent. The problem gets even deeper. The digital platforms that your kids are listening to are built in a particular manner. It's not by happenstance that what is happening is happening. It's well orchestrated engineering. There's algorithmic parenting. And what that does is the platforms are giving recommendations on a daily basis to deliver content to African children that the parents never see, the parents never approve, and often contradict what our household values are, because the algorithms are not trained on African values. There's a deliberate value injection. Today, they have gender deconstruction, they have hyper-individualism and anti-family narratives online for our kids. And this is not accidental, it is intentional. And what they do is they're using this to dilute the Africanness of our homes and the next generation of Africans. The algorithms are bypassing the elder as well. Today, it is, for millennia, the African identity has been a respect for the elderly and our communal living. Today, the new generation of Africans have no respect for the elderly, and family councils and elders and community ceremonies are now a thing of folklore and a distant past. It's no longer what we do today. Digital platforms have inserted themselves as the primary socialization background for a whole generation. The algorithms are addictive by architecture. Ask yourself why a simple song addicts children in Eswatini, in Malawi, in Ghana. Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark. And you see that children, irrespective of what their mother tongue is, are addicted to that song. That is social engineering. That's the power of artificial intelligence. The brains of kids, babies, were studied to understand the sound that their brains react to. And that was used to develop the melody behind that song. And that's the amount of money and investment that's going into changing the mindset of our children. It's addictive by architecture. Children want a tablet. A child will take a tablet instead of a plate of food today, simply because of how addictive. The brain that is being formed is being addicted to the rush that they get from the platforms. And that's the generation of Africans that we're building. Community fragmentation is happening at scale. Today, we all have thousands, tens of thousands of followers. On X alone, I have over 300,000 followers. Truth is, I barely know even 100 of them in person. But that's the community that we're all building. We're building huge communities of following online, but in reality, when was the last time you picked a vehicle, drove to your friend's house, and sat with them to have a face-to-face conversation? We're losing that identity which makes us African. The whole essence of Ubuntu, that I am because you are, no longer exists. It's replaced by how much click I can get and how much likes I can get. The AI systems that are shaping Africa's youth are in a foreign language. And that, for me, is one of the biggest problems that we have. What AI does to the African child, it recommends foreign-produced content that normalizes alien values to our African families. And so the values that are being taught to our children are alien to us as Africans. And that's what artificial intelligence does. The content moderation that many of these AI tools have will flag our African outfit. I'm dressed in a traditional Ghanaian smock. The AI algorithms will flag this as not meeting community standards. Our Eswatini brothers are dressed in traditional Eswatini outfit, African beauty. It will be flagged as indecent exposure. Meanwhile, that same AI tool will not flag a white lady in a bikini as flouting communal standards, because our African values have not been put in the AI tools and into the AI moderation models. This is what we're dealing with. The AI tutoring platforms exclude our history, our culture, our values, and our epistemologies. The things that make us African, whether you're from the north, the south, the east, or the west of Africa, the uniqueness of our Africanness is excluded from the algorithm biases that we face today. And that's the world that the young Africans are living in. Beauty and social validation. The AI trains African girls to reject natural appearances. And so you'll see all the apps, they all have filters. And what do those filters do? They take away your natural face and give you artificially made up European looking faces. So our African women think that African beauty is not the same. Meanwhile, I always say, you can bleach black and make it look white, but you can never color white and make it black. Black does not break. And the AI chatbots will answer children's questions about identity, about sex and religion without the African context. And so they will teach our children that it is okay to have two mothers or two fathers, but that is not African. That is not who we are. But that's what the AI chatbots are teaching our children. And our many parents do not know, your children and grandchildren are on gaming platforms like Roblox, where pedophiles are allowed to open accounts and pose as children, and a lot of sexual online grooming is happening. And I'm not speaking about this just from an African context. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in the US, where pedophiles are being arrested for having groomed 16, 14, 13-year-old kids on these children gaming platforms. But the gaming platforms are not putting in place the security measures to protect our children. And it's happening here in Africa, but because we don't have the right reporting mechanisms, nobody is flagging this. And so when you look at this, in this room, what languages are we interpreting in? What languages are present here? English, French, Arabic, Portuguese, Spanish. None of this is an African language. But this is a meeting of African members of parliament. It tells you part of the foundational challenge. And so AI follows it. 92% of the data that the tools are trained in is in English, 4% in French.